Hello, and welcome to today's Zscaler launch event announcing new Zero Trust AI innovations across SASE and SD-WAN. I'm Joyce Kim, CMO at Zscaler, and I'll be your host for the event. During the next 60 minutes, you'll hear from Zscaler experts as they discuss how we are using the power of Zero Trust AI to transform SASE and SD-WAN, providing greater security and radically simplified networking across your organization. You'll also hear from one of our customers on how they're embracing these innovations to secure their locations, applications, and devices. During this event, you'll have the ability to ask real-time questions and chat with experts. To ask a question, simply type the question in the QA window. Finally, the keynote will be followed by a technical breakout session, which will dive even deeper into these innovations, so don't miss that session. Now it's time to get the show on the road. Let's hear from Zscaler's Chairman, Founder, and CEO, Jay Chaudhry.
Thank you, Joyce. I am very excited about our Zero Trust SASE launch, Zero Trust that's powered by AI technologies. Before I get into specifics of the launch, let me set the big picture stage about what's driving secure digital transformation. It's newer technology, it's mobility, it's cloud, it's AI ML, it's IoT OT. All these new technologies are making businesses more agile and more competitive. Now, in order to take advantage of these, businesses have been doing application transformation. As applications move to the cloud, they required network transformation. They required security transformation. But just like you couldn't lift and shift applications from the data center to the cloud, you can't be lifting and shifting your network to the cloud. You can't be lifting and shifting your security to the cloud. It needs to be done differently. It needs to be done the cloud-native way. And we are going to walk you through how we help enterprises do so. But let's start with what traditional network and what traditional security has been. We all know that over the past 30 years, we built what I call hub and spoke network because data center was the center of the universe. All branches led to the data center. And we secured it using castle and moat security model. We built a perimeter around the network, the trusted network and the untrusted network. That worked fine in the old days, but in today's world, when applications are everywhere, users are everywhere, your network is getting too big, too flat, and is enabling lateral threat movement. So every enterprise wants to move towards zero trust architecture. And that architecture is what Zscaler pioneered. When I started Zscaler, my notion was that in this new world, where are you going to put your firewalls? Where will you put your VPN boxes? Why don't we reimagine the network, we reimagine security? Rather than building a next gen firewall, we built essentially a switchboard and exchange, what we call Zero Trust Exchange. This connects the right entity to right entity, right user to right application. So the two architectures are fundamentally different. One is based on network and firewalls. One is based on zero trust. One assumes that the traffic gets on the network and goes wherever. The other assumes that everything is untrusted and you give only access to certain resources for certain users. So let me dig a little deeper into what this zero trust architecture is. Unfortunately, when some new technology becomes very popular, legacy vendors or incumbent vendors co-opt it because they don't want to get disrupted. Remember in the 90s when client server became popular? Every company became a client server company overnight. Well, it's easy to build PowerPoint, it's easy to build a website. But to build real zero trust technology, where you're sitting between the traffic flow to inspect traffic, to enforce policy, to give great user experience. It needs some serious engineering. That's what Zscaler pioneered and innovated over the past a dozen plus years. In the Zero Trust architecture, your applications are merely destinations out there somewhere. Your users and devices are all untrusted. Your applications can be put in two buckets. Shown on the upper right, applications managed by you in your data center, your public cloud, or your plants and factories. On the upper left, applications managed by others. This is SaaS applications. This is internet. So if you don't really have a trusted network, how do you connect? How do users access applications? Well, through a Zero Trust Exchange. Everything simply connects to the internet. When traffic hits Zscaler, we're like a switchboard. The first thing we do is stop. Who are you? We check identity working with a range of identity providers. The second thing, where are you going? You can define which user can access which application. Start off Zero Trust segmentation that can never be achieved by firewall vendors. Third, knowing that identity can be stolen. We are now checking a number of contexts, and AI ML technologies are helping us tremendously. So AI-powered engine allows us to do adaptive policy enforcement. We can check the device type, we can check user behavior, we can do device posture and a whole range of things that dynamically allow us to connect certain users or not connect certain users based on some of the attributes that AI engine gives us. Once all that passes through, our engine makes a go or no-go decision. For external application, we simply do an outside-in connection starting from the endpoint. But for internal applications, we do an inside-out connection using the connector technology so that your applications aren't exposed to the internet. That way, we are hiding your attack surface. If they can't find you, they can't attack you. Plus, since we connect a user to a specific application, the lateral movement goes away. Lateral movement is the biggest problem. It's the thing that hackers exploit to create all these ransomware attacks. In addition, since we are sitting in line, we're inspecting traffic, we can block all the bad stuff that compromises you, and we can make sure your data doesn't leak out. That's, in essence, is the Zero Trust technology. So identity being an important point, posture check of the device, and Zscaler as a policy engine is how Zero Trust architecture gets implemented. And you can't just build it on top of firewall. It is not a feature. Imagine an electric car and traditional car. They may look same from outside, but as soon as you open the hood, they're very different. That's how we built the Zero Trust technology, which is not built around IP addresses or ACLs. Now, let me dig into what is our AI-powered engine is doing. What are we driving that? Well, as we're sitting in line, we see all communication going in and out. We're creating all the logs. We are inspecting the request. We're inspecting the response. And the logs give us a number of key attributes. There are lots and lots of signals we collect from them. And based on that, we can do better security, cyber protection, better data protection, and better Zero Trust networking. In today's session, I'm going to talk a little bit about what do we do about Zero Trust networking leveraging AI ML technology. Well, all the signals we're getting allow us to do 2 or 3 different things. First, the very important one is segmentation. Industry has been struggling to do network-based segmentation. It has rarely worked. Using Zero Trust architecture or technology, since we're sitting in line, we can make sure only certain user groups can access certain application groups. And which user should access which user group is derived based on an AI ML power policy engine, which makes it easier for our customers to do so. 2, we can also figure out the the user experience. All the telemetry we collect about users can be put to use as well. Then the next thing I want to talk about is we're not just about protecting users, which we've done quite well. The same technology, same switchboard can be applied to secure your workloads, secure access for your B2B users, and secure your IoT, OT devices. We are the only company, I would say, that has taken a platform for all of these entities rather than just users. And we did not want to stop at inline inspection. CISOs wanted to make sure we provide them full data protection, whether data is in motion or data is sitting at rest in your SaaS application or endpoints or maybe in clouds. We provide that as well. Then taking all the logs, we have collected tons of telemetry. We have focused on our data cloud, our AI cloud, where we're taking all the telemetry and built a number of exciting applications such as Risk 360, such as Business Insights. And this is for give you a holistic protection of all the entities you have out there. Now, what are we doing about these areas? Well, for all these 4 entities, Zscaler platform provides secure access, not just for users, but for workloads, for IoT, OT devices, as well as B2B, your customers and partners. The solution provided fall in 4 areas. Cyber protection, extremely important for all of our customers. Data protection, very barely needed. Then AI/ML services that takes all the logs and provides some fascinating solutions. And last, but very important, is Zero Trust networking. Zero Trust networking for users, for branches, for data centers, and for clouds as well. This is the focus of our announcement today. So I will invite Dhaval Sharma, our SVP of Products, to share with us more details about it.
Thank you, Jay. Before we talk about Zero Trust networking, let's understand how the world of networking has evolved in the last few decades. At the beginning, we had fixed networks, fixed assets. So SNA networking was invented. As the complexity on the network increased, we had more assets that were coming on the network. We invented IP networking, and that has been with us for a really long time. That created interconnected networks and made today's internet possible, but brought a lot of complexity with it. Now, in the last few years, SD-WANs gave us a smarter router, simplified complexity, creating the interconnected networks while prioritizing the connectivity. In this world of interconnected networks, we brought massive exposure for all our assets, as every network was connecting to other networks with an implicit trust. And with this trust, we were creating the massive attack surface. Mostly, we use side-to-side VPNs that allowed internal lateral movement of threads, which is one of the leading causes for ransomware attacks in the industry today. We keep creating more and more attack surface by connecting your locations, your clouds, your data centers, and we secured these sites using firewalls. But every IP exposed on the internet behind a firewall created more attack surface that attackers can easily find. So until now, we were prioritizing connectivity, and it created that big security problem we just saw. In order to solve this problem, we need to move towards Zero Trust networking. Network in this architecture is just a plumbing. Strong Zero Trust overlay with full inline inspection through a Zero Trust exchange with global footprint of service edges with less than 20 milliseconds of latency is required. So in this architecture, we are prioritizing secure connectivity. Zscaler introduced the Zero Trust Exchange for users when we introduced ZPA service 7 years ago. Now, in order to solve this problem that we just saw, we are bringing Zero Trust for your locations, including branches, cloud, and data centers. This is achieved by putting a small Zscaler connector where your users and workloads are sitting. We already have client connector that sits on more than 50 million users' devices. We introduce cloud connector which protects your cloud workloads. And now we are also introducing this connector for your physical locations in both hardware as well as virtual form factor. It brings traffic to Zero Trust Exchange service edges for business policies and helps reduce risk and complexity. Every firewall and VPN brings user to the network, as we know, without full inspection and doing very basic access control. So many ransomware attacks happen through compromised user or servers which are connecting over VPN. Fundamental change that Zscaler brought with Zero Trust for your users through ZPA service was to remove the need for VPNs and not bring users to the network. Users connected to the applications based on their identity and the context of their identity, such as are they coming from the corporate network, do they have the right device. Now imagine same principles for the traffic coming from your sites, including site-to-site traffic and branch connectivity. There's a lot of talk in the industry today about a single vendor SASE solution, which unfortunately until now is still created with bundling traditional SD-WAN and firewalls, excruciating the same problem of lateral movement and attack surface even more. As we adopt more and more cloud services, we are extending the same network to the cloud with virtual firewalls and connectivity services like ExpressRoute. This leads to more complexity and also deteriorates your security posture because you are adding more and more firewalls and the complexity that comes with it. For remote users and contractors, third parties, we bring them into our network with cloud VPNs. One asset, if it gets compromised in one part of your network, for example, a contractor's laptop can compromise a large set of your assets within your organization. In order to really secure it, we need to build or extend our traditional DMZs where all our security infrastructure ran into these networks as well. And we traditionally have been trying to get rid of them. This infrastructure comes with its own cost and complexity. Performance is also compromised as traffic is routed through unnatural data paths, and it creates complex policies as well. Zscaler solves this problem elegantly with what we call as Zero Trust SASE, our market-leading SSE in combination with Zero Trust SD-WAN, which we will walk you through in a minute. In this architecture, every source connects to every destination securely based on the business policies and prioritize performance. It applies our market-leading SSE capabilities, including secure internet access, private access, and digital experience monitoring to all your traffic from branch, campus, cloud, as well as traditional data centers. This helps our customers achieve massive cost savings and reduce complexity and increase their security posture by eliminating traditional appliance-based DMZs. Traditional networking expenses like MPLS could be reduced significantly. Expense and complexity on SD-WAN devices is brought down through it as well. And we also reduce proliferation of multiple agents on the user devices. To walk you through our Zero Trust SD-WAN offering in more details, I would like to invite Naresh Kumar, VP of Products at Zscaler.
Thank you, Dhaval. Hybrid work is the new norm. 63% of high-growth organizations employ hybrid work models. That is driving the new requirements for branch offices. Customers and enterprises are looking at the new way of connecting these branch offices. Small branch offices, typically where you will find sales folks, and the connectivity should be just like a small cafe-like branch office. And you have medium-sized branch offices, typically users and some IoT and things like servers and so on. And there are large offices which have more complex networking requirements like users, and you have different labs, OT networks, and much more complex segmented networks within that large office, factories, or hospitals. Let's look at how traditional SD-WANs connect these type of offices. Most of the SD-WANs do connect a network to network. There are three fundamental challenges with these type of connectivity using a site-to-site VPN. The first one is a lateral threat movement. Any compromised endpoint in one network implicitly has access to another network in a remote site would easily spread that lateral threat. The second biggest challenge is to prevent those threats. Typically, customers would bring devices like firewalls, which increases the attack surface. And the third and most important challenge, as you start increasing your number of sites, you will add increasing amount of routing complexity, because new branch office adds new networks and distribution. That is a significant challenge using a traditional or legacy SD-WAN architecture. According to a Network World survey, 69% of organizations cite security as a top concern with SD-WAN. We are really excited to bring to the market Zero Trust SD-WAN to connect offices, factories, data centers using the Zero Trust AI Exchange platform. Zero Trust SD-WAN delivers secure inbound and outbound connectivity benefits for our customers. With Zero Trust SD-WAN, customers do not have to worry about overlay routing complexity. There is no need for additional firewall and routing appliances. And more importantly, there is no inconsistent policies for sites and users. And more importantly, the Zero Trust SD-WAN solution brings a more secure connectivity for users, sites using Zero Trust platform, completely integrated through the AI-powered cyber threat and data protection policies, leveraging firewall as a service, secure web gateways, ZTNA, and all other CASB-like policies. And more importantly, it is very simple to manage with more granular policies, centralized visibility, and IoT discovery powered by AI. I am really thrilled to announce the general availability of Z-Connector plug-and-play appliances. It's a solution for every type of branch office. ZT400, a 4-port device which can handle up to 200 megabits of throughput. ZT600, a 6-port device which can go up to 500 megabits of throughput. And for medium offices, we have ZT800, a 8-port device which can handle up to 1 gigabit speeds. And not only that, if there is a campus or large data center which has a need for multi-gig throughput, we have a virtual appliance solution to address that requirements. And all of these appliances have very key features like zero-touch provisioning and configuration, intelligent path selection, high availability both in active-active and active-passive modes, a centralized visibility and management, and more importantly, a TPM-based secure boot configuration so that the devices cannot be tampered. Many of our customers have been in production since 2022 using the Z-Connector virtual and physical appliances in a forwarder mode. As part of a forwarder mode, customers have to configure the VLANs to send the traffic to Zscaler Z-Connector device, and we establish those tunnels out to Zscaler Zero Trust Exchange platform. And the key requirement here is to have a gateway in front of Z-Connector. What we are announcing right now is availability of this Z-Connector device as an inline gateway. Yes, we are announcing the ability to directly terminate those internet interfaces on the Z-Connector appliance so that customers can eliminate the need for having additional firewall or routing appliances. Let me talk about the key features and functionality. From a WAN management perspective, we support dual internet ISP connectivity for resiliency reasons. We do monitoring of those ISP paths and provide a complete application-aware path selection based on the link performance metrics. And we provide this for the top SaaS applications. We also support static routing for managing those connectivity to internet service providers, especially when you're terminating that on the gateway. From a gateway features and functionality perspective, we provide a local firewall rules more in line with a typical L3 ACL kind of functionality for east-west traffic handling. We do support high availability and zero-touch provisioning for these appliances in HA mode. And we also support a IoT device discovery capabilities, which I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail later. From a LAN interface management perspective, which is very critical for this operationalizing in a small branch office mode, is DHCP server and DNS gateway. which support both of those capabilities on these appliances. And we also support multiple L3 sub-interface networks towards LAN side, as well as understand the .1Q based VLAN tagging on those interfaces, which enable us to provide a complete L3 ACL based policies. What we eliminate with these features and functionality is customers do not have to spend anymore on MPLS. There is no need for having an additional firewall or SD-WAN routers. And more importantly, there is no need for any VPNs and even in some cases, NAC type of appliances in this branch offices. There are 4 key use cases we support with Zscaler Zero Trust SD-WAN solution. The first one is replacing a site-to-site VPN. Many of our customers have a strategy to bring zero trust from users to everything like printers, cameras, badge readers, and so on and so forth. So it is important to have a connectivity to the data centers connecting to those private applications. And that's where most of our customers are interested in replacing those site-to-site VPNs. The second use case is enabling merger and acquisitions, especially for those large enterprises who have to deal with these acquisition networks, complex routing requirements, overlay routing, overlapping addresses, and so on. With Zscaler Zero Trust SD-WAN solution, most of our customers could bring down this from multiple days and weeks to literally days and even in some cases, few hours. There is a significant power from a platform which we enable not just for the branch offices or networks, even for users in case of mergers and acquisitions. The third use case is enabling customers to provide that secure access to OT networks. Zscaler provides a solution to connect a third-party contractor or remote worker to a critical applications like HVAC, building management systems, and elevator systems, and so on. And this plug-and-play appliance can simply enable that connectivity for any third-party contractor, as well as any other applications which is sitting in the data center could connect into the OT network with much more ease and without having to build any VPNs. And the last use case is about providing a visibility and discovery for IoT and OT devices. Zero Trust starts with visibility. At Zscaler, we process hundreds of logs every day from every device, and we use that information to run AI to understand the metadata to precisely predict what type of device it is. And once we understand that information, we provide that visibility through our dashboard to understand what is the top devices classification in your organization and what are the top users those devices are being used by. And double-clicking on that further, for each device, we will be able to provide an understanding about where the devices are talking from a destination standpoint, what apps are being consumed, and what is the traffic behavior. All of this will enable us to do some anomaly detection, device risk posture. That is how we are able to bring zero trust for these IoT and OT devices. Zscaler continues to innovate to help our customers transform their networking and security. And now, let's hear from one of your peers.
My name is Mike Gemza. I'm the CTO for Cornerstone Building Brands. And for those of you that haven't heard about Cornerstone Building Brands, we're the #1 manufacturer of building products in North America. So think things like vinyl siding, windows, metal roofing, turnkey stone solutions. We have rich heritage of over 100 years, so many acquisitions over that time. And we really strive to be the cornerstone of our communities. Our products are used in schools, in grocery stores, manufacturing facilities, and beyond. Our folks are 19,500 strong across North America, and we have about 180 sites. The role of the network has transformed quite a bit for us. It really was one of those neglected networks that you often see in manufacturing. We had MPLS technology standard deployments, and over 240 different configurations across our sites. So what we've gone through is a major transformation to upgrade and change the thought process on how we deliver our network services and the overall redundancy and availability. First step that we went through was removing MPLS and moving over to SD-WAN while we were simultaneously upgrading the infrastructure at these sites to be better wireless coverage, better network coverage overall. And I really see SD-WAN as a transitionary type of technology, though. It's not the end state. It's still very complex. It doesn't always work as well as we had hoped it would. So we're really focusing to move over to a true internet directly to our sites. I don't want to have all of the different technologies that you need at a site to be able to secure it. I want it to feel just like it does at a home or a cafe for our users. When we first started talking about Zscaler, we were trying to think of a way that we could utilize the Zscaler technology, not just as a security tool. We realized the power behind what Zscaler has built with the Zero Trust Exchange, and we saw an application for that within our M&A space. Traditionally, our M&As could take hundreds of days in order to be able to provide business-to-business access. And this journey would normally take us from looking at our laptops, looking at our infrastructure connectivity, figuring out how we provide it securely, installing firewalls and so forth to be able to have a secure connection and not have any cyber risk moving across between the two entities while we merge them. What we've done with Zscaler is set out with a target of being able to provide connectivity for business-to-business applications, therefore unlocking the business value in less than 60 days. We successfully completed this in our most recent acquisition, and it has allowed us to move all of the other infrastructure upgrades that we need to do outside of the critical path. And in an organization like ours, a very complex, large-scale enterprise with the user base that we have and the application portfolio that we have. We really wanted to focus on how do we roll out Zero Trust across our branches, our sites, our users, and our data centers, and lock that down as best we could so that we had zero attack surface. With every company that we work with, partnership is the key because it's the way that we figure out how do we provide the most value to our business. So I want to continue to extend that partnership with Zscaler as we roll this out. As our OT journey continues, we're going to find more use cases that we need to find solutions for. And it excites me that we're able to do that with a team like we have at Zscaler.
Thank you, Mike. Zscaler Zero Trust SD-WAN solution uniquely differentiates by completely eliminating the site-to-site VPNs. And we extend the AI-powered Zero Trust Exchange capabilities not just for users, even for IoT and OT devices. And the third and most important thing, we completely reduce the complexity and costs by eliminating firewalls, the route table management, and the routing infrastructure required. Back to you, Joyce.
Thank you, Mike, Naresh, Dhaval, and Jay. These are powerful new innovations, and it's great to see organizations already benefiting from them. Today, Zscaler extended our leadership position with Zero Trust SASE powered by the industry's first Zero Trust SD-WAN solution, all built on Zscaler's Zero Trust AI Exchange. We hope you in the audience are as excited as we are about the potential of these innovations to help you secure, simplify, and transform your organization. Now, before we wrap up, I have 3 important announcements. The technical breakout session is starting just after this session. So stay on to learn more and dive deeper into these new innovations. You can also get more information about Zscaler's Zero Trust SASE capabilities and today's innovations at zscaler.com/ZTSASE. Finally, please complete your survey. Your feedback is valuable to us. Thank you all for your time today. I'll see you at the technical breakout that starts now.